Josh Smith here from Greenskeeper Turf, and welcome back. So I finally have a video here for you on aeration and overseeding. This is a very popular practice that a lot of lawn care enthusiasts do every year, and I'll show you how I did mine. I did it on my Kentucky Bluegrass, but this will really work on any type of cool season lawn plan. So hopefully you guys can learn something today that maybe you didn't know, and you can implement it so that you can get good results yourself.
Before we go out in the lawn and start running equipment and spreading seed, we need to have a hard plan in place. You got to think ahead and look at some of the obstacles you may face coming forward. What if the weather doesn't cooperate? What if you can't rent a piece of machinery when you want to? By planning things out, we can prevent a lot of this. I also went ahead and had a soil test done. I wanted to know exactly what the pH of the soil was and also keep an eye on the macronutrient levels. By knowing this stuff ahead of time, we can know exactly what kind of fertilizer and how much lime we can put down to make amendments to the soil. So a couple weeks before my overseed, I just did a walkthrough on the lawn and just wanted to see what are some of the things that I liked, what are some of the things I didn't like, and get an idea of what changes I needed to make so that I could select the right seed. My lawn really didn't look too bad. I just had a few consistency issues where I had to patch and repair some spots for Poa, Anua, and Triv. So my existing lawn was a four-way blend of Kentucky Bluegrasses. It was Midnight, Award, New Glade, and Everglade. And those were four very good varieties. But because of some spots I had to repair for Poa, Triv, and Anua, I just noticed some spots were darker than others. So I decided to go with Midnight and Bewitched and use that for my overseed so that I can get a lot of the consistency back. Both of those were very highly rated NTEP varieties and probably some of the best stuff I could get my hands on. Yeah, when choosing seed, you want to get top NTEP varieties for your specific area. You also want to get something that is completely other crop free, 0.00. It costs more money, but it'll ensure that you don't get any Poa, Anua, or Poa Triv seed thrown back in your lawn. So now that we've got our planning in place, it's time to start killing off some weeds. You want to kill any broadleafs with a selective herbicide, and then you can kill off grassy weeds with a non-selective herbicide like Roundup. So even though we're just overseeding, I like to get Roundup and kill off any undesirable grasses. Stuff like Poa Triv or creeping bentgrass, this is the best time to kill it. Because if you get any bare spots, they're going to be overseeded. Roundup has no residual effect and will not harm the new seed you're planting. Yeah, don't neglect this step. It's important to do things right the first time. If you just overseed a bunch of undesirable grasses, that's going to be a whole lot more that your seed's going to have to compete against, and it'll give you a bunch of headaches down the road. So about a week later, you'll notice this stuff starts to turn brown. That's a good thing. We'll go ahead and get this raked up when we dethatch. So after you've gotten that stuff killed, the next step is scalping the lawn. Now this will take maybe 2 or 3 passes, and you're going to have a lot of grass clippings to bag. But go ahead and get it as low as you can so that you'll get better seed soil contact, and the seed will also get some sunlight so it can germinate. So after the lawn's all scalped, now it's time to dethatch.
Okay guys, so this is a power rake, and this is what we're going to use to dethatch the lawn. I picked this up over at Home Depot to rent for the 4 hours for $54. So to turn it on, we'll put the fuel into the on position. We'll come over here, we got the choke on.
So the purpose of a power rake is to remove excess thatch from a lawn. So thatch is any accumulation of grass clippings, dead grass, or even other material that gathers along the soil surface. So by removing this, we'll help let our lawn breathe better, get more nutrients, and also give our seed a good place to germinate. I went ahead and went about 2 or 3 passes over the whole lawn. You can see there was a lot of thatch that came up. I went ahead and blew it into a pile, raked it up, and now we're just about ready for the next step.
So our next step is core aeration. This is a core aerator I picked up at Home Depot.
So if you get hard and compacted soil, one of the best things you can do is use a core aerator. So this will poke millions of tiny holes all over the surface of the soil, and this allows water to drain better, and it gets deeper into the root system of the plant. Yeah, and running a core aerator will really give you a workout. This is a heavy machine, it's tough to turn, but this is really an important thing you can do for your yard. It's going to build a deeper root system, and those little holes it pokes will also give another place for our seed to germinate. So when you push a core aerator, it's basically the same idea as push mowing a lawn. You want to do 2 trim passes and then just go up and down side by side until you get the job finished. After I do the first pass, I go over it another time in a perpendicular direction, just to make sure I didn't miss any spots and to go over it twice. And you don't have to go over it twice, but I did just to get my money's worth for the machine. So after running the aerator, it was time to put down some fertilizer. So I went ahead and chose Milorganite. It's a good organic product. I've had a lot of success with it in the past, and it helps improve our soil instead of just simply feeding the grass. Now, some people would use a starter fertilizer here instead. I chose to hold off on that and just right now spread Milorganite across the ground. I think starter fertilizer is best applied right after the seed sprouts. So after the fertilizer, it was time to put down some pelletized lime. Now, I had my soil test done and it said I had a 5.7 pH. Okay, that's just too acidic for cool season grass. Kentucky Bluegrass especially, it likes lawns with about a 6.2 and 7. So I went ahead and put down 60 pounds per 1,000 square foot of pelletized lime, and it should help solve that problem. Now that everything's all done, it's finally time to seed. And like I said earlier, I chose Bewitched and Midnight. These are 2 of the top rated Kentucky Bluegrass varieties in my area. They're certified, weed-free, other crop-free. I'm really excited to get these 2 down and see how they look. Now, there's a couple different ways you can spread this seed. A broadcast spreader would work fine. I did rent one of these slit seeders. I've always wanted to try one. And all it does is it drops the seed down, and then there's some discs underneath of it that help prepare a little seed bed. It's not necessary, but I went ahead and tried it out anyways. So once you get the seed down, all the hard work is already done. But there's still a crucial step that you have to follow, and that is properly watering the seed. Bluegrass seed takes a long time to germinate, usually about 21 days, and really a long time after that to establish. So you have to continue to water your lawn. You want to keep it just enough to be damp, but don't overwater. If you put too much water down, it could wash away the seed or push too much top growth from the existing grass, which can crowd out the new seed that you just planted. So it's very important to get that watering dialed in just right. I would buy a timed sprinkler and let it run maybe 3 times a day for 15 or 20 minutes apiece. After about 2 or 3 weeks, the seed began to come up. It did come in thin at first, but after I hit it with some starter fertilizer and gave it another couple weeks, it really started to fill in. Even though the grass was beginning to thicken up, it was a lighter green color at first. And bluegrass does this. It just takes a longer time to develop, but ultimately can get very dark with time. After about 6 weeks, I noticed my lawn was right back where I wanted it, and I was very happy with the results. Just a lot more consistency than I had before. And the nice thing about bluegrass is it does have the ability to self-repair, so I shouldn't have to go through this process every year. As you can see, doing this right takes a lot of time and a lot of work. But when you don't cut corners, you get great results. This is a great thing to do to give your lawn a facelift every few years. Well guys, thanks for watching. And for more great content like this, you can go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel, and you'll get a notification every time we've got a new video.